Donald Trump is at the center of a trifold attack on his political antics and disgraceful stunt at Arlington Cemetery this past week. Also, in an extremely rare instance showing just how deep in the former commander-in-chief is with the military, the U.S. Army issued a stark rebuke to Trump's claims after he now infamously used our fallen military heroes as pawns for his own political gain. On top of that, a veteran-led super PAC focused on elevating the voices of veterans and military families through progressive legislative policies and electoral endorsements called Vote Vets against Donald Trump that is rightfully so making waves across the internet. Kamala Harris' statement from just this morning, where she wrote on Twitter, "As Vice President, I have had the privilege of visiting Arlington National Cemetery several times. It is a solemn place, a place where we come together to honor American heroes who have made the ultimate sacrifice in service of this nation. It is not a place for politics." And yet, as was reported this week, Donald Trump's team chose to film a video there, resulting in an altercation with cemetery staff. Let me be clear, the former president disrespected sacred ground, all for the sake of a political stunt. This is nothing new from Donald Trump, a man who, during a previous visit to the cemetery, reportedly said of fallen service members, quote, "I don't get it, what was in it for them?" Going on, this is a man who is unable to comprehend anything other than service to himself. If there is one thing on which we as Americans can all agree, it is that our veterans, military families, and service members should be honored, never disparaged, and treated with nothing less than our highest respect and gratitude. And it is my belief that someone who cannot meet this simple sacred duty should never again stand behind the seal of the President of the United States of America. A powerful and scorching rebuke of Trump that draws stark contrast to his own response to the criticism, which essentially boiled down to blaming Joe Biden and, even more disrespectfully, suggesting the actual Gold Star families of the fallen soldiers were to blame for the controversy. And he has received so much blowback for all of this that even the U.S. Army was forced to issue a rare rebuke to his claims.
Manu, this is a fairly remarkable statement, both, as you point out, because of the rebuke of the Trump campaign, and then for standing up to the Arlington National Cemetery employee who was involved in this. The statement doesn't mention the Trump campaign or former President Donald Trump explicitly, but it's also very clear to what it's referring. Here is a part of the statement. Let me read this to you. Participants in the August 26th ceremony and subsequent Section 60 visit were made aware of federal laws, Army regulations, and DoD policies which clearly prohibit political activities. An Arlington National Cemetery employee who attempted to ensure adherence to these rules was abruptly pushed aside. ANC is a national shrine to the honored dead of the armed forces, and its dedicated staff will continue to ensure public ceremonies are conducted with dignity and respect. But afterwards, a member of the Trump campaign also suggested the Arlington employee with which this altercation happened was, quote, a despicable individual, and someone even suggested she might have mental health issues. Here, the Army stood by their employee, praising her professionalism and saying it's an incredibly important and sacred job she has at Arlington National Cemetery.
It comes as a surprise to no one that Donald Trump would A, have no problem violating federal law for his own gain, or B, that he would disrespect something so sacred as the hallowed ground of fallen soldiers. This, after all, is the same guy who, as confirmed by John Kelly, called dead American soldiers suckers and losers, and also infamously posed for a photo op after the George Floyd protests at a church while holding a Bible upside down. But while the Army did not explicitly mention Donald Trump or his campaign, that was very much not the case in this brand new brutal ad from Vote Vets that absolutely tears Trump apart for his myriad moments of ultimate dishonor.
We've got Trump on the run, scared. His insults about service members catching up with him. He's panicked. Losers and suckers, he called us. Confirmed. Refusing to be seen with wounded warriors because it makes him queasy. Refusing to salute the fallen of World War I because he, quote, doesn't understand what was in it for them. Because he was afraid his dye job might run in the rain faster than he ran to a quack doctor when the draft board called his number. Comparing his sexploitations with the likes of Jeffrey Epstein to the sacrifice of those who went in his place to Vietnam. Now, maybe the greatest insult of all, turning a military cemetery visit into a political stunt with cameras in tow. In Section 60, one of the most hallowed acres of all, and when an Army civilian official told them they were breaking federal law that bans politics and campaign cameras, Trump thugs verbally and physically assaulted her. Disgusting. Donald Trump, the grave markers veterans and military families drop a knee to are not your political props. They represent the heroes we served alongside. Men and women you could never measure up to. Friends who lived and died by the oath we all swore to uphold. Something you will never understand. And why we're doing our damnedest to make sure no service member ever has to salute you as Commander-in-Chief ever again.